and welcome to main show number 11 of the TRC main show podcast, or TRC podcast, if that's your thing. Anyway, I've got Levi.
Hello, hello, hello.
And I've got Anthony.
Hey.
And I'm Dane. All right, so let's get right into it.
Well, this morning we had ourselves a nice little meeting. We are in the last few weeks.
It's
2
coming
weeks,
in
9 days,
fast.
9 work days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
11 days
that's good
realistically.
Math. That's proper math.
Yeah.
9 days, yeah.
Yeah.
We
And
are
then-
TAL experts,
yeah.
not math experts.
No, 11 days till we leave for SEMA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to be leaving Friday the 27th that morning. I vote that we put GoPros
No.
in the truck
Mm.
to record our antics.
It's just
on
going to
our
be
way
him
down there.
napping in the back and you
Well, that's fine.
listening to lore and...
It's all right.
Yeah.
We'll if we catch anything good, conversations
Right.
that maybe we can make or
yeah.
utilize in a video, I think we do this like a vlog style.
Yeah.
We'll travel. Like,
Okay.
I think if we record...
When we stop and get gas, and
Yeah.
we can talk up the gas station clerks and say, "What's going on, guys?"
Well, honestly, yeah, that'll work.
We can have a
I think-
front-facing and a rear-facing GoPro. So
Yeah,
you
I
got-
think we
just-
get some scenes. think we get some shots. I think we make this a fun video that we create of like TRC at SEMA.
And it's going to be a lot better inside the car because I don't know if you guys know this, but the drive from Idaho, from Boise, from where we are,
the route that
to
we are
Vegas,
taking-
the route is
It's
very
the least interesting
So it goes
stretch of
Boise-
road.
very bleak
Twin Falls,
desert.
straight down desert, Vegas.
Yeah,
It's
just-
straight, and
It's
when
just
I say
desert forever.
when I say it's straight, it is
It's
dead
just
straight.
straight, yeah.
We could literally put it on cruise control as long as the truck and the trailer stay tracking true.
Yeah.
Jeff could turn around and we could all just have a conversation for the next 6 hours.
Yeah.
And someday when self-driving, fully autonomous,
That's going to
cars
be a
could do it.
pretty easy
Yeah.
route.
it's going to be a pretty easy route to do.
Well, and there's a couple towns like on the way there. There's what Ellie or Eli, I don't know how to say it, but there's
Ely
a couple
and
towns that you'll
Wells
pass through, and you look around and you're like, this is
We can't stop here. This is backcountry.
yeah, this is pretty far from everything that we know that is normal. And I mean, I think one of the gas stations there, I think they only have 87 octane. They don't have anything there. So if you were stuck driving a car that required
high-performance
like
machine,
which I
like
have a
my
turbo.
06 Elantra.
well, yes, like
Yeah.
your
I can't
Elantra.
run premium in
Jeez,
it.
how could I
But-
miss it?
Right.
That happened
Thankfully,
to us,
it can run on 86 or 87.
That happened to me
octane,
a couple of years ago, several years ago. I was driving down to Vegas, and my friend just bought this brand new WRX, right? Brand new 2013
Yeah.
WRX hatchback. We're taking his maiden voyage. We're going on a road trip, and we've been driving this thing balls to the wall, hitting full boost, like just pinning it. And we finally were like, dude, he's like, I got to get gas. We're getting close to empty. We pull up to this town. We get out and we're like, hey, it's like a guy standing out in front of the gas station. It's one of those old school pumps. And we're like, do you have...
He's waiting for one of
We're like-
4 cars to arrive during the day.
We're like, do you have 91? He's like, oh, I don't got any of that fancy gas. I just got the 87. You're going to have to go up another 40 miles up into where you can find some, hopefully 89. And my friend looks at me. He's like, we're not going to make it that far. And I'm like,
driving the way he is.
I don't know what you want to do, man. And so we actually ended up like,
Did the
on
guys
empty,
say,
we made
like...
it. We made it on the
Wow.
reserve tank. We threw it in fifth and just putted.
Oh.
No turbo, no nothing, and we eventually made it. But
Stay out of the boost!
yeah, so
Yeah.
it's not a
That's
very
funny.
exciting trip.
Yeah, no, when I did it, gosh, it was 15 years ago. I made that journey down that same road with 2 buddies. And one of them is actually going to be at SEMA with the Factor 55 booth,
Nice.
Justin Andrews. And so me and him were going, and a buddy of ours said, I'm going to pay for Justin and you to come to Vegas with me because I've never been to Vegas.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, cool. So we're like, sweet, dude. He's like, I got us a hotel room. I'm paying. I will take my car. It'll be great. And I'm like, awesome. And I didn't realize at the time when I saw his car, never crossed my mind to ask him if he had air conditioning.
Oh, wow.
We were going down in the middle of August.
Oh my God! Through that desert. Oh.
We were gonna take 93.
Well, and so
Hope you like a strong breeze because that's all you're getting.
Well, yeah.
So
even
that's the
windows
highway.
Down, you're gonna go deaf.
Right. And that was the thing. He had his little 3-door Escort.
Yeah.
It was like a 92 Escort.
Nice.
Wait, how many
And
guys were stuffed in
It's
there?
3 of us.
Oh, that
man.
engine must have been working
Yeah.
hard.
So again, no AC. And he didn't have a CD player. He had a cassette player,
Wait a second.
and his CD player didn't work
If it was
that he had.
weren't those Festivas?
No, it was an Escort. It was
an Escort.
It was an
Oh,
Escort
wait,
like
yeah, okay.
ZX2.
Okay.
bottom. It wasn't the nice, like the rounded ones.
Oh,
was,
yeah, it's the
it was
square,
the old square, boxy
yeah,
ones.
I gotcha. Yep.
So we fly down there, just windows down because like it's hot. Like there's no music because we literally cannot play music because his cassette player, like his radio antenna had been busted off, so he had no signal. So we couldn't listen to the radio. Plus we're in the middle of the desert, so you're not going to get any radio signals. Then he had no cassettes. He had a Discman that had the cassette adapter, and the Discman could not. It was a very, very cheap, like an old school GBX one or whatever you could buy at like
High
Kmart.
tech.
Yeah. So we had no music. So we drove for 8 hours just listening to the two of us, and the three of us were smoking cigarettes, trying to smoke cigarettes while we're driving with
That
the
car
windows
just
down.
sounds like a rolling hell.
It sucked. It sucked. And then on our way back, and that was the other thing. He had done his own ignition switch replacement by just pulling the wires out,
I was saying,
plugging
did
in
he
a
just
new
hotwire it, or
plugging in a new ignition switch. So he had the original one in the dash, and then another one that dangled.
Oh, that's
in between your
that's
legs?
janky.
because race car?
Yeah. So we get down there, and he's like, "I'm gonna valet park this baby."
No.
That's
So we had to explain the starting procedure of this race car
To a valet.
to a valet, and so when we get it back, he's like, "I need to see the Bellagio one more time. I need to go." Like this is what he was like. I want to film it. I want to pretend like I'm Brad Pitt, and like I'm looking at like Ocean's
In my
11.
escort.
He was dressed like Brad Pitt in Ocean's 11 the whole time we were there. Justin and I were dying.
Yeah.
We were wearing camo shorts with our black
of course.
t-shirts.
I mean,
with
what
the
else is
sleeves.
Levi gonna
Well, with
wear?
the sleeves cut off. That's
Yeah.
that's how I rolled.
Yeah.
Right. So we had
So definitely not Brad
flip
Pitt in
flops.
Ocean's 11
Yeah, that
for
was
you.
how me and Justin looked. Justin and I, fully sleeved, tattoos, glasses, whole
Yeah.
9 yards. Our buddy was proceeded to dress like Brad Pitt in Ocean's 11
Oh.
the whole weekend. So the drive back, we're at the Bellagio. We pick up the car from valet. We're getting ready to leave, and the headlights don't come on.
Ooh. No.
And we decided, let's leave at night so that we can drive through the desert at night so it's not so hot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the worst idea.
And we'll just drive in shifts and we'll take turns.
Sure.
No headlights.
There's a lot of critters out at night.
So
out on those
what does
roads.
work? High beams.
okay.
So you were that guy.
What doesn't work? To be able to set the high beams on full time.
Oh no.
Yes.
So we had to drive
And
all the way back.
Hold
Now,
the-
because of that, because of this the sketchiness of driving down, we knew the gas stops.
Yeah. No.
We knew the places that we were going to stop, and we were going to be leaving at 3 in the morning. We were going to be leaving at 10 o'clock at night. And we were going to drive, so we get into Boise 8 a.m. is what we thought.
right.
It was 8 o'clock, I think, but it was already starting to get. It was going to be dark, and it was going to be middle of the night at some of these gas stations.
Yeah.
So we realized those guys go to sleep, and they don't accept credit cards in the middle of the
No.
night. So those gas stations would be closed. So we decided to take the long route through Salt Lake, which is a 12-hour drive.
Wow, yeah.
For the availability of actual gas stations and convenience stores and
Sure.
snacks and that kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Watered down beer.
so we are driving back again, windows cracked, windows down, no stereo, and we have to hold the high beams on.
Did you get like carpal tunnel? Just
Oh my gosh, that's probably where all my arthritis came from.
my God, just that one trip.
Just that one trip. But I ended up rigging up a thing where we could tie, like I found a piece of
What
rope
was I gonna say? Like,
and I
tie it up.
tied the high beams to the steering wheels because I was like, we're going straight. Like
Yeah.
I don't
I was
have
gonna say,
to
what
turn
happens when you got to turn
that much. So,
Okay.
I mean, it
You,
will only...
you rip the lights off is what
Yeah,
you do. You rip
yeah.
that switch off.
That's-
Yeah, you
stock
slide it
just-
off the switch. But that's what we did because it hurt so bad to just try and hold the high beams
Man,
and drive your 3 hour. Like we all took like 3 hour stints.
that's brutal.
That's a good
But
story.
it was
Like,
it's so I'm looking forward to this next drive.
Plush drive
Yeah,
and the Escalade.
yeah. Every other
the
time
ra-
I've
the
had I've
Ragscalade.
flown, so I haven't had to worry. But this is my first time driving in over
man.
almost 20 years, And that was about 15 years ago.
That's
And,
special.
So I'm looking forward to this. We're taking the Ragscalade, the trailer.
It's gonna be a little.
Five
bit
of us
nicer.
are going to have some fun in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to have some fun, listen to some podcasts. Anyway.
We got a little more creature comforts going on
Yeah.
this time around. You're riding in an Escalade, so
Yep.
I mean,
But we did
it's-
have a meeting to get check all the boxes. We're probably going to do that again later this week and make sure we've got certain things written off so that we know we're square on that stuff. And
fun posters, displays, all that business.
Yep.
So
I would say all of us here we're kind of procrastinators, and I don't know if it's because of our creativity, but it's just we're all kind of
we're creative at the last minute.
We're creative at the last
right.
minute.
Well, and we don't want to be on what we call Hennen time.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, my
So-
family, we are notorious for, do you want us to be somewhere? Just lie and tell us it's half an hour before
Yeah.
it actually
Right.
happens.
So what we don't, when we have done that, where we've just said, all right, everybody
feel like
leave
I've
at
gotten
6.
better at it,
You have,
but
your dad is the
proprietor
yeah,
of the lateness
and the
is,
proprietor of Hennen time.
Yeah,
So, so we hopefully we'll be on time on everything because we do
Right.
have to, once we get to Vegas, we do have to be
Oh.
at the loading dock in the morning at 8 a.m. on
time and
Saturday
place
morning.
is very
We
important.
have to be there. So at 8.
No
So
messing around. Yeah.
we're gonna hope that we can make all this work right. So
yeah.
anyway,
But it'll
so,
be fun. So
It'll be fun.
we'll
We're
record
excited.
something from that
I
trip.
think we can have a lot of fun with it. I think we're going to be able to get a lot of cool videos, a lot
Yeah.
of neat stuff. You know, the Monday before, once we get everything set up, when we go on Monday, the show's not open, but everybody's basically almost done. So
Right.
we'll be able to just go wander and
cruise around,
check out a lot of stuff that you guys want to see.
because you're not going to be able to see everything the day of. That
No,
just,
no,
you
no.
can't.
Well, you can't. You're there for the
It's
week. Even if you
huge.
guys just went as and not working and went on
Right.
your own, you'd be like, "There's no way we can see everything."
Yeah.
So it's
Well, that's half the fun. I mean,
Yeah.
just wandering your way to something awesome.
Well, yeah, and like I said, that maybe that we can figure out our scavenger hunt or things like that.
Yeah,
we're thinking
we'll
of.
come up with
So,
something for you guys
uh,
at the last minute.
Yep. So
Yeah.
Like this podcast, I come up with the script last minute.
That's right.
It happens
Yeah.
like 5 minutes before every show. So
yeah.
true.
So
Yeah.
going forward, we hope you guys enjoyed all the new videos, all the new quick looks that we came out with.
yeah, we got some new
Last
talent
week was a
videos.
big week for videos
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
We sent out a ton
a
of
big
stuff.
one because there was some real time put into some of those videos.
Some really
so.
nice videos.
I know we've been talking about them over the last few weeks, but they're cool videos. So if you haven't checked them out, check out the 500K detail. Check out the Wash Wednesday
Yep.
where Levi and Anthony worked together.
It's good
Yep.
times.
There's some fun stuff.
It's a fun one.
Tyler and I are celebrating our friendiversary today on Facebook.
Facebook lets you know.
7-year friendiversary.
Oh wow!
You know,
It's
I
official.
like that.
pretty impressive.
Lucky number
That's
7.
nice.
Yeah, he replied back, kisses. So that's nice.
So sweet.
Yeah, I really appreciated it.
Well, I was going to talk about the detailing sniper video, the detox.
Yeah,
that
that's
you
been
and,
really good.
Dylan did.
Yeah.
People have been responding to that a lot.
It's
and
nice to
They
see.
appreciate people talking about that sort of thing because a lot of people, even though the article's been out there for a while now, I think the video got new people interested
Yeah.
in the concept of it, which
Yep.
I think YouTube did their normal thing where they see the word sniper and they decided that, oh, this isn't suitable for monetization. So you get that little like gold thing that people have been complaining about. But whatever, it's fine because it's more important that we just get the subject out. I just hope it's reaching people.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not being held back because of that.
Right. Yeah, that is
So if you
kind of the
haven't
hardest
seen
part
it,
about it.
go check it out on the channel because it's a great discussion, and it's one of those relaxed detox where you
Yeah,
and
yeah, we're
Dylan
kicking
are
it.
chilling in those
Yeah.
best chairs.
Yeah. We got our sunscreen
The
and
sounds of the ocean.
Yeah,
in the
I dub
background.
in ocean effects in the background just to.
What do you
it
mean?
was more of
We're
a.
not
it was-
dubbing it in. It was filmed on location.
Yeah,
Oh
we
yeah,
filmed that
sorry, I'm
on
totally lying.
location.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's
That
real.
is-
Boise, Idaho.
It's a real ocean sounds. We need it next time we do that. We need to get some sand and
Yeah.
pull that in and like actually lay the
Yeah.
sand out. Dude, that'd be so funny. I
It's-
think people like
that's
that.
how-
Well, you guys remember there
gotta
used to be a
work.
taco joint here that
Yeah.
Perea used to do that. They had sand
Oh, really?
in their courtyard.
Oh, okay.
And
I
so
know
that was
yeah.
if you wanted to sit out on their patio, the patio was just like 3 inches of beach sand.
It's legit.
Oh, that's
yeah.
And so you could literally sit and eat your tacos and
They don't do that. Why
Ambiance
don't they
is
do that
important
because it
anymore?
was such a mess.
Oh,
You're tracking it
yeah.
everywhere.
It was
yeah.
everywhere. It was it like spilled out onto the street. Like they
Like
tried to
neighboring
keep it.
businesses are
Yeah.
complaining. Yeah.
You would have to, like, there's a way to probably do that. It's just you'd have to do it right. You know what
They
I'm
did
saying?
it for a few years.
Probably involves making like a big kid sandbox.
Once they built an outdoor bar. Oh, excuse me.
And give you a beach bar.
And once they did that, they took I think it probably was a liability once they started selling alcohol in that area. But
I mean,
they didn't want people like tripping and falling. But when it was just a restaurant, and they weren't selling alcohol, and you could just eat tacos and have your soda, it was probably not as bad.
No.
So
I was just wondering if you wanted to touch a little bit more on the sniper subject.
just that,
because we had a good example of it, I noticed.
Well, that one wasn't on the sniper video though.
No, that was the thing.
That was on another video.
It was a real life example that happened elsewhere.
Yeah, so we did get a comment this week of a gentleman who, at the end of one of our videos, it was the interior video utilizing the
leather
VLB
cleaning video.
Yeah, the VLB brush. The guy commented on my knuckles, on the tattoos on my hands, and was like, "Knuckle tats. Why should I listen to anything you say or take any
trust and take advice from this guy?"
Right. So I thought that was
maybe it was a joke. Like I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Maybe
he was joking. But on the other hand, he didn't really offer up anything that
he didn't add a lull or a
No.
smiley face
No.
or a wink or anything like that, or the laughing face.
He very well could have been judging a book by its cover. Oh no, Levi, you
never know.
You have
You
finger
still get
tats.
that.
Oh,
I did have a
no.
lady this morning ask me when I stopped to get a soda this morning that if I had ever regretted having my knuckles tattooed, and I was like, funny enough, I actually had a YouTube commenter say the exact same thing. She was a little confused by that, but
It's like, what? Why are you getting?
Yeah, so it was funny, but I showed it to my wife even, and she just rolled her eyes and was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you guys have to deal with that." And I told her, I was like, "I don't know if he's serious or not." So
prejudice exists everywhere. All the
so
time.
I just replied back, thanks for your comment. Email me if you like, and
kill
you
him
got
with
any
kindness.
more questions, and that's kind of how I've always dealt with that kind of stuff. But the beauty of the detailing snipers is that hopefully it shows people the right way to handle each other. And maybe, I've been watching Black Mirror a lot. And it has
that show.
It's on Netflix if you guys want to check it out. But
Anthony, you have to.
It deals
No, I haven't
heavily
watched it
on, it's like the Twilight Zone for our time.
Right.
It deals heavily with, there's very many episodes of that handle social media. And
the
way
endings
we
are a
need
little
to-
more ambiguous and a little less like, here's a moral, though.
Right,
Like, they're
yeah.
just kind of like, well, that happened.
Yeah, and so it's kind of
sad.
but it's
Feels
neat to
effective,
see.
though.
But it's neat to see like that. It is potentially the way our society could go.
Yeah.
That's the scary thing.
That's the horror of it, is how not far removed it is from
Right.
where we're at as a society.
Yeah,
So,
and so it's neat to kind of see that. And I think every once in a while we need reminders of that, because it gets so, easy to sit, reply and then hit send and not worry about it.
I'm safely behind a screen. I can't be bothered
it's
to
easy-
actually
it's
be
easy
responsible
to
for
make
my actions. So
remarks, and that's the thing. Like, words still hurt people. People still get upset over certain things, and for the people that maybe aren't surrounded by this constantly, if somebody were to say a negative comment towards somebody, that could really affect that person. And I'm not trying to get into the whole cyberbullying thing here, but if you're not used to that, if you're not aware of that's kind of how things are on the internet, somebody new getting on there, they're going to be pretty bummed out, to see that. So.
Yeah,
it's
well,
simple
and
cause and effect.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of forgot where I was going with that, but it's the fact that you go back to this old situation of when we weren't on the internet, you wouldn't usually say that to somebody's face, or you wouldn't make that remark because you never interacted with that person.
I suspect some of these feelings were bubbling under the surface for a lot of people, but they didn't necessarily
or if you're watching
have an
a show,
outlet. Only the really crappy people just let it out.
Yeah, or you're watching a show and you make a comment on the show that you're watching, but you're not,
because that actor can't reach to the screen to go, what did you say?
No one can hear you or say that. And, maybe there were those interactions where people would, they were more real and would tell people how they felt. And, but now there is that access. Now there is this ability to, cut somebody down or, and not
a
offer
lot
help.
of people who end up doing the bullying were bullied themselves, and they want an outlet.
Yeah, or they're just frustrated, and they're jealous, or they're
life kind of
sad.
sucks right now. I'm going to take it out on this guy because he seems to be getting a lot of love.
He's
right
easy
now.
prey.
I don't like that.
Yeah,
because more for them means less for me.
Right.
Zero-sum game.
Well, and I think it just like we were saying, it boils down to as us as part of a company, part of a face of a company.
Right.
We can't lash back at those people.
No.
We can't provide those snide remarks back, and because it doesn't look well on our company.
No. I will give a sassy response, and people have seen it.
Yep.
I will, if you see the rag company writing back to a comment, yes, it's me. So take out whatever you want on me, because it's usually me writing those. But at the same time, I always do it in a way that is fair and is reasonable.
Yeah.
And ultimately is kind and constructive and is offering somebody a positive out. Whether they take that or not is up to them.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I'm not going to sit there and make really petty remarks back that only cut a person down. I'm just going to offer them, well, here's the situation. Here's the, consequences of what you've offered up as a frankly mean comment, and whether you choose to improve as a person after that or not is up to you, but I'm not going to let you get away with it. It's one of those tough things where I don't want to go and do that to every single negative comment that anybody ever makes, because sometimes you get something you're like, it's so obviously not based in reality, you're like, whatever, and you just move on. But occasionally you get some where there is constructive criticism. I never want to turn that down. I want people, if there's something where something can improve, absolutely. Let us know.
It's like,
I am more than happy to accept that. And maybe I'll get a little defensive if somebody decides to make a personal remark, but that's because those are usually unfounded and they're subjective. They're not objective.
Well, and one of our rules, like on our detox page or some of the other group pages on Facebook, is if you don't like something, explain why you don't like something.
Yeah.
Don't just, as we say, drop and run.
Cut and run,
Yeah, don't just, set this little bomb here and go, I don't like this, and then run away and have everybody go, whoa, what do you mean you don't like them? Or why do you hate that? Or what do you don't,
it's usually a little worse than just, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like, if it's the kind of person who does that, it's usually more like, just straight up like, I'm saying objectively that this is terrible and this sucks. And then they just leave, and it's like, well, hold on, that's an opinion. I'll grant you that. You're welcome to have your opinion, but, why?
Yeah. And we do. And we've had, great detailers that have had their complaints, explained their situation, and then everyone's educated because of it.
And a lot of people
that's
are
fine.
afraid.
That's perfect. That's what you want.
Yeah, a lot of people are afraid to offer up their why because they know it's extremely flimsy.
Yeah, well, and also, it's just.
But your gut reaction to something is totally fair. I mean, that's how you felt.
It's good to.
That's okay.
But it's good to explain it, because even if it works, it doesn't work for you, it may work for somebody else. And that person may go, oh man, I never even thought of that. Maybe I'll try that and see. I've done that hundreds of times. I pulled other situations that I've seen and I've thought, I've just put it in my memory and gone like, so-and-so once said, they tried it this way. I'll see if I can make it work.
It's okay to mix things up.
And it works sometimes.
And that's cool. Yeah, because, not every technique is going to be the right one for you.
Well, it just goes back to with those commenters.
We are deep in this.
It's okay though.
We are.
This is
deep.
a platform where we can talk freely.
I think we're 6 feet deep right now, and I was with everybody until about 3 feet, and now I'm I was kind of thinking, I'm like, okay, you guys went from this to this, and I'm listening. I'm not on my phone or anything, and I'm sitting here like, crap. Even I'm a little lost right now. So if you guys aren't quite with us, it's understandable.
Basically,
but I think what Levi's trying to wrap up.
I've put the ladder down into the hole. We're climbing up out of the ladder now.
Okay. All right.
Basically, it boils down to
feelings
something that
about this.
I explained to Anthony when you came on, was if you're going to comment on something, your comment has to be constructive.
Right.
Or, just send a happy birthday to that person.
Yeah.
Or, basically it's the old adage, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. It's not worth opening your mouth if you understand that what you're going to write is going to get taken in the wrong context, because you don't ever really know how that
Well, and just trying to create like a negative bummer environment for everybody else who does maybe enjoy something.
And
it's
treat
okay
others
to have a, downer whatever comment if it's got some nutritional value, right?
Yeah, well,
if it's got something to really offer,
but it also goes back to
behind it. Okay,
treat others as you would have them treat you.
Yeah.
If you want to be a jerk,
I'm giving instructions
and you
for people to be a jerk, but like a constructive jerk. That's
no,
okay.
But I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, but if you're the one that's coming out and you're literally coming to tell everybody how awful they are, how bad they are,
you're
how dumb
not
they are,
offering anything,
and you're not offering anything constructive, do you really need to comment? Do you really need to make this comment? Is it gonna make you more money? No. Is it gonna make your life better? No. Are you going to learn anything?
You're going to get a momentary rush of adrenaline, like, ha, I told those guys. And then after it's going to be like, oh.
But is it going to make you look bad? Yes.
Yeah.
So, So
yeah.
don't do those things.
That's the thing.
There's always a few things that I look into my head, and first one is, will it make me more money? Like, that's the first one. If I say this remark, no. Because it may put a bad taste in someone's mouth, and they will never want to buy it. They will associate me with this company. And they won't want to purchase products or anything like that. So I'm not that's the first one. So that's kind of how I always run things through my head. And
totally fair, totally logical, totally rational.
It's getting that with that can go the same. You never know. I've seen guys, local detailers, who will post on buy-sell trade groups or, neighborhood groups or city groups on Facebook, and someone will ask, hey, what's your price? And they'll post their price and say, this is what I do. And someone will say, wow, you guys must really suck because of da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. Or it's another detail shop that comes in to cut them down and go, you guys are stupid for doing this and stupid for doing... And it's like, you are actively posting your business and you're attacking another business on a forum that is created for the neighborhood or the city in which you live in.
I think that's what kills me the most out of anything like that, is seeing someone else going in with like a really just attack style negative agenda, going in and trying to tear someone down, and it's like they're completely oblivious to how that makes other people perceive them.
Or say...
how they look to the outside world. Maybe it feels good for them, but it's not going to have positive consequences for them.
Or say a bad review on Google.
Oh, yeah. You got your Yelp reviews.
But you get a bad review. And let's say the customer wasn't happy and they write a bad review about it.
Right.
Do you attack the customer and tell them they're an idiot?
Of course
and they're stupid and you don't know what you're talking about? We did everything right. And
that
you can
doesn't help anybody, because that just shows anybody looking at that, wow, they don't treat people.
But I have seen them, and they are there.
I mean, you got your Amy's Baking companies out there.
Yeah, there are people that literally start fighting on their posts, and you're like, that's not constructive for your business.
No.
The best reply is always, apologize. Hey, let us take care of it. If we could help you out, if we could do this kind of stuff. And, take care of the problem. I look at those reviews, and if I can see that the business is replying professionally, then I'll still want to do business with that company.
Every single interaction you have, no matter how small, if it's out in the public eye, that is, in a sense, advertising for you. And whether that advertising puts a good taste or a bad taste in people's mouths is completely up to you.
Yeah.
You have to be responsible for what you say. And if you're not, then people aren't going to want to deal with you.
Right. Yeah.
Simple as that. Anthony, you've been very quiet.
Yeah. Well, did we dig out of the... Are we back out? Are you understanding where you kind of are?
We were about in 6 feet, and we were back.
He lost some air.
We were back into about
all right, we'll come back up for air. We'll give you some
section
breathing
here.
room.
And so I'm with you guys. I think you guys will start going, and you guys will feed off each other.
I love digging into the psychology of it.
And I see this feeding going on. And I'm just kind of like, all right. And I'm like, okay. How long do we go for? But
at the same time, I don't want anybody to see this and see us as being negative. We're being analytical about it. It's simply
the goal is to
addressing it, and trying to come back and offer something.
Well, and the detailing sniper itself can be very.
And that's the can of worms. The sniper opens up.
But it can be 10 different versions.
Yeah.
It can be you on a forum attacking other fellow detailers, Or it can be
Yeah, you got like
it can
marksman
be-
on marksman sometimes.
no, but it can be or it could be how you treat those around you.
Yeah.
It can be how you treat your customers, how you treat the industry representatives in the field.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of it hits all the way across. There were guys where our truck drivers that drive, not our truck drivers, but the detailing supply drivers were
Right.
meeting other detailers, and those detailers were telling them, I don't need you. I don't need your products because I get everything online. Well, the guys on the trucks usually can sell you those exact same products at a much cheaper rate and provide that assistance and help that you may need to utilize those products. But there's a number of guys that will say, oh yeah, no, I went to go talk to them. And they were like, nope, I buy everything online. I don't have to worry. You get out of my shop. I don't need to buy from you.
It's worth it to check.
It's not even, don't even say that. Just go, man, thanks, appreciate it. If I'm kind of good right now. I don't need anything, but I'll keep you in mind. You don't have to be that.
Yeah, you don't have to be a monster about it. Just be human and understand people around you are humans too, and they're going to have a real life reaction just like you would. So
helping lift everyone up. So
point is, don't suck.
And haters gonna hate.
They hate us because they ain't us.
So move on from there.
All right, clickbait action.
Right back into another.
Back down into it. Here we go.
Yes. See, Anthony feels like a moral obligation to not upset people, and I like to go a little bit like a little controversy.
So we changed the name of the GT350 video. I noticed.
We did. Well, I mean,
a little bit, just a little bit.
The 500K detail is still the 500K detail. That's definitely that upset some people. Now
it did.
I'm going to throw Anthony under
surprised.
the bus and say that was all his idea.
Yeah. So,
but it was his detail job. So I said absolutely have at it, and I didn't disagree.
Yeah.
So the 500K detail, right? People are taking it into. There's a couple of people on there that really took that literally,
they were pissed,
being like, "That's a $500,000. You're making $500,000 off the detail job."
Minute of the video,
right?
you
and the people who were upset about it, I like some of those guys.
And it's like,
I actually really like some.
And
of
that's
those
where
guys.
you guys you have to be a little realistic about this. Is anybody made $500,000 off a detail job? No.
That's not a realistic
what would be the
expectation.
only other expectation from that video? That car is worth $500,000, and so. And that was kind of the point.
Or you
of it
bought $500,000 worth of products to use on it.
Yeah, and so it's just
Which would be
there's
really
multiple
dumb.
definitions to what that title could have meant, but the idea behind it was let's make a title that is catchy, that is also true to
clickbait.
to what it is, that is people are going to want to click it because.
And hey, we want to garner some numbers.
Because if I were to say this is an expensive detail job, enter title like that. We would have gotten 20 views on that thing. So you have to kind of
Or if you said detailing a $500,000 car.
It also would not have been that impressive because you know how many $500,000 cars get
There's actually quite a
on
few
YouTube?
that get detailed.
There's a few. And until we can detail a LaFerrari on a spinning platform, we have nothing. Like there's nothing. We have nothing to offer. So that's why we have to change things up when we need to. But it's clickbait. Is one of those things to where you can really go crazy with it. I mean, there's vloggers out there that will put into a title or put a thumbnail that says he died, right? Nobody
done that with one of our detoxes.
You click in this video to find that it's some type of cooking video where they're making, rosemary chicken. And
I died eating that. It was so good.
The chicken died to make this.
Who died in this thing?
Okay, Anthony, I will say though, like with this sort of thing, that at least where I come from on this is, do the ends justify the means? In this particular case, when it comes to clickbait, I'm not an ends justify the means kind of guy in all aspects of life, but when it comes to the clickbait, is what I'm getting out of this equivalent to the impact I thought the title gave me going in? Like, am I going to get out of this something as impressive as the 500K detail? Well, when you look at that video was extremely comprehensive, showing a full process detail. Like, I guess the responsible choice of titling that would basically be saying, like, here is a 34-minute guide on how to detail a car very thoroughly for your enjoyment. And that's not exciting.
No.
That's not going to draw people in. But that's what it is. So if anybody's curious what the 500K detail is, it's actually a very informative video that shows you everything that goes into detailing
you get to, we're using
a high-end Mecum auction car.
We're using Scan Grip lights from Innovative Tools.
Were extremely
which
useful.
is very nice, and they worked very well.
And what I'm getting at with that is basically, in that particular case, I felt that the title was justified because the content of the video was every bit as good as whatever hype you had in your mind going in when you clicked that thumbnail and that title.
Yeah.
Now, I felt it was equivalent. I didn't necessarily feel that it's a one-for-one expectation, like going in, you get something different than you thought you were going to get. But I feel overall the content quality is absolutely everything that you should have expected going in.
What if I made $500,000 on that detail job? How would that affect you?
Every detailer on earth would be looking at you screaming.
Wait, you just did one Mustang and you made that? Like, what in the world?
And then how would there be any proof of me making $500,000 on that car for the people that are like, this isn't worth $500,000? Like, what do you expect? The owner to say, hello, Anthony, here's your suitcase full of money. Thank you so much. And everybody's like, that's fake video. That's not real money.
I could have bought a car with this money, but instead I'm giving it to you.
Yeah, and I'd be like,
for polishing this
making
one
this
car.
one car a lot shinier.
It's like use your logic. Like, that's not how things work. And obviously it's the car. And I say that within the first 2 minutes of the video.
Well, not even that. In the first 30 seconds, you make it very clear. You're like, okay, you came in expecting a $500,000 detail. No, it's a $500,000 car. That's how much this is worth. Yep. So we're going to work on something. It's still something very valuable that needs a lot of careful attention, and it gets that in spades.
It's just funny, and but so as far as clickbait goes, I mean, like YouTube's full of clickbait, and I don't want to geek out too much into it because I mean
that's what the podcast is for. That's why we're digging these 6-foot holes. We're like geeking out and getting into it.
We're already 40 minutes in, and so
all the better for it. Absolutely.
But
it helps. It when we do these things, we don't do them all the time.
No.
Yeah.
But we do try to add just a little bit because we do want to up our viewership. We are trying to grow a channel, and we want to thank everybody that's part of that helps do that. But organically, we still need to try and find more.
Well, because all of our stuff is organic. Like, that's one thing I want to point out to everybody that may not know how this works, but none of our videos are sponsored. None of our videos are paid. We don't have anything inside that to where we're promoting within YouTube other than us organically sharing it.
It's simply people watching it and telling a friend or liking or subscribing or leaving a comment. That's what puts it in front of other people's eyeballs who may not have seen it before.
Yep. So we do everything the old-fashioned way, and we do take pride in that because a lot of people it's easy to drop a couple $1,000s on a promotional run, basically through YouTube, promoting your videos and promoting your stuff. But I mean, like, how much return are you going to see in that in the grand scheme of things? If we spend $2,000 on a run of promotions through our videos, does that necessarily mean that we're going to be making that money back if we gain 200 subscribers?
No.
Probably not. No, not through monetization, not through orders. I mean, it would have to be a for sure thing, and that's where we do things the old-fashioned way, and we have no problem taking our time to grow our channel organically. That's
the subscribers we get are there because they want to be there.
And they're loyal, and that's what we like. They're people that we kind of feel you guys are, along for the ride with us.
We'll continue to give them what they're looking for.
Which is one of the reasons we do this podcast, too. It's the same thing.
We might do a clickbait title, but you know what? That video that you're getting with that title that you're so mad about, was that a bad video? No, absolutely not. I consider that to be one of the best videos I've made on there, and toot my own horn, but I felt like I put a lot of work into that. You did put a lot of work into it. It absolutely shows.
Yep.
So I appreciate those of you who watched it and said nice things, and those who were critical of it, I'm glad you were only critical about the title and not the video itself. So thank you.
So, Anthony, what have you been watching? This last few weeks here.
I watched.
He doesn't watch a lot of TV.
Well, I wanted to actually touch while we're on detailing before we spread off too far off the topic.
Yeah, he's got something coming up.
So I did. So more details with Anthony, taking the Levi show over. No, I detailed over the weekend. I didn't have a weekend.
I detailed this weekend too. With details with Levi.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not a competition, guys.
So I detailed.
I mean, it could be.
So I detailed a truck, and so I detailed a truck, and I used gloss coat on it, and it was a good detail job. I had a lot of fun doing it. It was just a lot of work, and it took me pretty much all weekend long to
wrap it up.
It was a Tundra.
Oh, okay.
And so I ended up, it was one of those jobs to where I don't know what it was. It was one of the first jobs where I actually had to do it outside of my garage at my house, and it's been cold. It was
chilly,
50 degrees on Saturday.
Yeah,
and
products behave differently.
Because I couldn't fit the truck in my garage. Like, it literally wouldn't fit. Like, long ways. My garage is meant for cars, not trucks. So basically, I did this all in my driveway, and it was a challenging detail because I had to go about it in a different way than I normally do. So, to give you guys long story short, the water at my house is extremely hard, and I know everybody says they have hard water, but mine is
Anthony's the hardest.
Mine is like ruin your car hard. So I can't use my hose on any type of vehicle, and this truck was pretty haggard on the outside with tons of bugs and tons of dirt and stuff. So I had to use a rinseless wash, and I'd be really careful about doing it. But then I got to the polishing step, and I was so jazzed when I started polishing the truck because it was correcting so fast. And I think it had to do because it was cold outside, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you weren't getting hot.
I wasn't getting all that heat that I would normally get. And so the paint was correcting so simply with just an orange pad on the Rupes 21 with hyper polish that I thought I had to two-step the truck initially, did one pass, looked at it, and I was like, holy crap. You know, I felt the panel and it's ice cold, but I'm like, this is making a big difference. So I ended up correcting the whole truck, or doing a single step on the whole truck, and then doing my prep and then putting gloss coat on it. And it was funny because I had the 10 cc's of gloss coat that I initially picked up for my motorcycles because I wanted to gloss coat certain little areas, and then
do a motorcycle.
do the roof on my Civic. And so I picked aside this bottle of gloss coat, and I'm like, I'll use it on the truck. I still have like half that bottle left, you know.
Yeah,
it's
amazing.
So efficient. The 10 cc's last so long. I mean, and I thought I was being pretty liberal with it. There's a lot of areas where I was just droplet, and then just rubbing it in.
Yeah, when they say 2 cars, they really mean it. But unlike a lot of things, it could go much further than that.
Yeah.
They're just giving you a good baseline.
Exactly. And so I didn't coat the windows. I did use OptiSeal on the windows. I didn't coat the windows with gloss coat, but I did pretty much everything else. I did all the chrome and stuff like that. And so it turned out really, really good, but it was just a busy. It took me all weekend to do. And
I
maybe that's
did
why
that.
he's antsy today. He hasn't had any sleep.
I did that this weekend. My mother-in-law bought a new 2017 Hyundai Elantra Limited.
Yeah.
So I went to pick it up. I went to go pick it up at her house.
Expert over here.
Yeah, I went over to pick it up at her house, and it was.
This is funny.
It was insane.
Yeah.
The car was, and now prefaced, my mother-in-law is a 70-year-old woman, and she was just excited to get a new car and left the dealership. You know, we didn't know. I couldn't be there to walk the car with her or anything like that. Yeah. And then she came home with a loaner, and she left the car with them, and they tinted the windows and did some other stuff for her.
Nice.
So when I got a hold of it to see it, I stopped by that night and looked at it, and the back bumper on both sides behind the rear tires were scratched severely.
Oh.
Quite bad. Looks like where it was attached to maybe when they had it attached in delivery and transport. Mm-hmm. And then there's a big, huge scuff on the hood. Looked like there was probably when they put the clear film on the plastic on the hood during transport. Yeah. Someone took it off and then tried to rub or scratch out the glue.
This thing. They were just
trying to clean the glue off of it, and they marred the heck out of the hood.
Bad. I'll get it.
And then it was covered in water spots, meaning that it had been sitting on the lot for a while, and the sprinklers had been hitting the whole front of the car. And then the lot boys have been washing it, and so the wheels.
You're looking at that, seeing dollar signs.
This thing was covered in hard water spots, covered. And so I told her, well, I'll get the water spots off. I'll give it a quick one step. I'll get that out. I might be able to get those scratches out of the bumper, but I may have to wet sand them.
Don't know how deep
we'll see, but I'll only do a one step on everything. I'll just get it cleaned up, and then that way it's at least good. Now, my mother-in-law does use a car wash.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to coat this car because she's just going to go buy a pass and use it and run it through the car wash weekly. That's her thing, and I'll pick it up once a year and I'll clean it and detail it for her, and she keeps the car really clean, so it's not I'm not asking her to wash it herself and things like that. So basically I got on it and I could not believe how bad the water spots were. It took me what I thought. I was like, I'll just do a quick acid wash, had some MDR, was going to do a quick one step on it. 5 hours later, And I did this all in my garage. I finished it.
Yeah.
Car's great. I did have some OptiGuard leather coating that I put on her driver's seat because she did start to already get some dye transfer from her denim on her seats because she has the gray leather.
Better coating than the seat itself. So
I coated her seat because she is the only one that rides in it, and then I Opti-sealed the rest of the leather.
Nice.
I forgot you could do that.
Yeah, so that's what I did for her, but it took me 5 hours. 5 hours that I was expecting 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It always takes longer than what you think. People
It
watching
took
it
so-
always
well,
takes
and it's
longer.
one of those that I was
You'll
like,
always
that's
quote
the
like an
takeaway here.
additional 2 hours.
Well, and what I
Block out
should have
some
done,
extra
I don't have a
time.
pressure washer at my house, but what I should have done was stopped at Matt's on Friday night on my way home, stopped at Hawk's Detail, picked up a bottle of acid from him, taken it to the car wash,
Like
and
wheel
just,
brightener or something.
and fully acid washed that car.
Come here, you
and
friggin'
pressure
water
washed
spots.
it. Yeah, and knocked them all off, and then just dried it and then ran it home.
Yeah.
And then proceeded to clean it instead of using MDR. MDR just took a lot longer. It was a lot safer, and it was good in my
Well,
yard.
yeah, that's the
and
big thing. It's
driveway.
just a lot safer. to
It all
use.
came out. It came out fine. But the water spots that were left over, there were some that were still etched into the clear.
Oh.
And I had to polish. But I just used an orange pad and hyper polish, and I was able an orange HDO on the Rupes.
Yeah, you don't want to go sucking
And,
away all the clear coat on the first.
It was easy.
Yeah, you
but
just got the car.
I will
Like-
say I did a hard coat. I paint prepped it, and then I did a hard coat of Opti Seal, which is where you paint prep the surface, and then you spray the Opti Seal onto the little yellow pad, and then apply it
right.
on the
What you
surface,
do.
and then come back around, wipe it off, and then I topped it with Hyper Seal.
Yeah.
And holy crap, am I in love with that stuff?
Hypersil, it's stupid.
And
It's
that color,
stupid,
it was
glossy.
That
It's
color, it
super
was
depth.
beautiful.
Whenever Optimum
Oh my
feels
gosh.
like starting to sell it
and
to us, I'm game.
They should. I know we can't make those
Yeah.
calls.
I know, we
but
can't.
No, I think, dude, water
Get them from
spots-
your local OptiCoat
Yep.
installer.
Find,
find
your
out your
local
installer, but-
installer.
Water spots, I have such a, I don't know, they bother me so much. I never thought they'd bother me as much as they do.
Oh, yeah.
Because my thing with them is that, this truck, for example, right, has been polished in a long time, lives outside, right?
Okay. So it needs protection.
Not a water spot on it, though, right? But God forbid, you have a nice car and you park it on the side of the road one day, it gets hit by a sprinkler,
Yeah.
and then it just instantly etches the paint. It kills me that water spots are so.
Well, if the sprinklers don't get it, the
picky-choosy.
birds will. So,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So no, it's just one of those fun things when it comes to paint. But other than that, though, so you asked me what I was been watching. My girlfriend got me on to Don't Laugh People, but I've been watching American Horror Story. I think
Which one?
Season 3, the Coven
Okay.
season.
I've never seen that one.
The witches. I'm all about that teenage witch
I'll be
drama.
honest, I've never
So-
watched any of those. I catch
It's
like
good.
bits and pieces, but I've never.
I'm liking it. But Levi's, you're deep in Black Mirror, and then
Black Mirror and Lore. I started Lore on Amazon Prime.
Nice.
So I'm a fan of that podcast. If any of you guys have checked that out, Lore, it's about like folklore, old stories from just throughout
Myth,
time.
legends,
Yeah.
urban.
So he turned it into a TV series, and it's like a documentary.
Loch Ness Monster type of thing.
Kind
Like,
of.
What is it?
Like
Chupacabra.
so the first episode was about they made a tonic is what it was called, and what it was in the late 1800s consumption, which was tuberculosis, was ravaging the north, the
Like
northeastern United States.
Oregon Trail, right?
Yeah, you
or
get
Northwest.
well, yeah,
That's you
in
died of dysentery.
Ireland and
That's a little
England.
different.
I mean, consumption was bad. It was rampant.
Yeah.
Because it was TB, and
TV's not your friend.
so the story was there's a man who had 4 children or 3 children and a wife, and his wife died of consumption. His daughter died of consumption. His other daughter died of consumption, and his son got consumption. This one guy came over and said, another guy who had lost his wife and daughter and stuff to consumption said, this is what we're going to do. This is how it works. And then he goes into the science and the folklore of where this practice came from. And what it was they had to unearth the bodies, make sure the bodies were truly dead, because they said it was a demon that lived off of a corpse that technically wasn't totally dead. So he said, if there's any blood in the heart, we got to burn it because that means the heart's still alive. And anyway, that was the theory, right?
Oh, wow.
So they tell this guy.
Way different than what I thought it was going. I thought it was going to something different.
So that's one thing. So they tell the guy, we got to unearth your wife and your kids, and we got to pull their hearts out. We got to check and make sure. Well, his last daughter that died, he had left her in a barn because it was winter and the permafrost. He couldn't bury her, so he just kept her in the barn. Her body in a coffin and all that.
Okay.
Apparently, that's how it used to be done in the 1800s. Well, one of the guys was like, see, that's why she's so perfectly preserved. Not because she was frozen for that many months. And so they did that. They gave him the tonic and all that kind of stuff. They burned the heart. They took the ashes. They made a tonic. This is all like true. This is all true because it's lore. That's what he does. He does all this research on it. Well, it turns out that because of that, so they made national news because of that. Well, one of the guys who had taken parts of that story, because they called it like the New England vampire or whatever, the guy that took parts of those stories as subject matter was Bram Stoker.
Oh, well. That's
how he wrote Dracula, was based on that storyline that they had talked about. That was how he got some of the elements for the Dracula stories.
Makes for a good story.
So that was the end. And it was really cool. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. My wife had already knew the story. So she was like, yeah, no, I've already listened to this episode. The next one was on transorbital lobotomies. So in the 50s and 60s, there was a man who was going in through the eye socket, basically was taking a fancy ice pick, going in through the eye socket, and then messing with the brain.
Oh, I'm weird.
Sucker Punch, not a great movie, but does have that in it.
But it was the 60s, and this was normal, and it was to treat depression. Like he was talking about, like this is very simple, anybody can do it, and he was showing people how to do it.
Also, anybody who's watched BoJack Horseman knows that that's a element.
But that was one of the stories was on that,
Oof.
and that was something that was, and it wasn't until the late 60s. That they finally stopped that practice, like the American doctors was like, well, maybe we shouldn't be doing that anymore.
Yeah.
But the guy was like, some of it's hard to watch.
Yeah.
It's on Amazon. But it's really great. The podcast is amazing because it tackles all kinds of subjects.
Right.
There was one where in Russia there was a group of scientists that were all doing some spectral analysis stuff, and all of a sudden they all disappeared. And when the search party came to look for them, they found them, and they were all scattered around. Some were naked, some were not, but they were all dead and frozen. And their tent had been ripped to shreds, and there was some other stuff. And like trees were knocked down at a certain height. And so they didn't know if maybe a Yeti had gotten them.
I was going to say.
Or if there was, they had found out that they had been doing rocket tests in that area, and maybe they had found out about that. They had been, there was another thing where there was always,
realistically, that seems
there was monsters like Yetis, or they also found out that they were testing an audio machine in that area of the Ural Mountains. That would cause paranoia and schizophrenia in people, and it was a weapon they were trying to create in the Cold War.
Yeah.
So that they could, send this audio file. So they don't know if someone heard that and they all kind of panicked and kind of went crazy, and maybe some of them didn't have their clothes on and ran out into the snow and froze. They don't know. But it was a very eerie, interesting story to learn, and I kind of like listening to it because it's kind of oddities,
it's like the Russian side of MK Ultra type stuff, and
I don't know what that means, but
sure,
it's the I just like these old tales. They're kind of like a easiest way to describe it is like a campfire tale.
Right.
It's like a scary story that you want to, but then you find out oh no, this is a real thing, and I can Google it and learn all about it, and it's actual history. So that's kind of fun. That's my favorite part about it is if you like oddities, if you like kind of that, not gross horror, but just like a spooky story. That's lore is that, and then you can watch that on Amazon Prime. So I've been watching that. It's pretty awesome. And Black Mirror.
It's the right time of year to be getting.
It's the perfect time of year.
Yeah.
Get yourself a little creeped out, like with your haunted house stuff you're watching.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. I can't remember the name of the show just now.
American
Horror Story. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, it's not. Yeah. It's not even really that scary. It's more like I said, teen witch drama is kind of what it is. but I'm
There's gonna be people that are gonna comment and go, no, dude, you gotta go. Season 2 is really bad, or season 4.
So
that's the one that'll get you. But.
It's like this time of year, I'm okay with being like mildly uncomfortable.
Me too.
And like kind of because like this is the only time of year. Because if I'm watching, I'm one of those people to where maybe some people will agree with me.
He's very seasonal.
If it's the middle of summer and a Christmas movie comes on, I will turn that off.
Yeah, me too.
Because that is not right for me to watch that at that time.
Christmas in July.
And my girlfriend, she's like, well, it's still a great movie, you know. I'm like, there's snow on the ground in this movie that is not what we're watching right now.
Yeah.
So I'll turn that off. And then the same thing. If it's like springtime and I'm
There's
watching
a T-Rex in this movie. I can't watch it. They aren't real.
Halloween movie. I'm like, no, we're in Easter. We should be watching movies about bunnies. So rather than, I don't know if there's any of those, but you know, I'm just not feeling the Halloween.
Yeah.
So.
No, I know exactly how you feel. That's how I am too. My wife and I try to start watching a little more scarier, spookier stuff during October. We even get a little started in the September area. But my wife's the same way. Like, I can't watch a cold winter, like if we're climbing Everest or something like that in a movie. Like, I'd rather watch it when it's cold outside and I'm all wrapped up so I can be warm.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same reason, like, you get some movies that you can only watch when it's like a rainy day outside.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just kind of quite like those slow burn, kind of like older school, like noir type movies. Yep. They're really good when it's really just tame and kind of drowsy outside, just, you know, whatever. But when it's like a bright sunny day and you're like, I'm going to watch Casablanca. Yeah, or really dark, cinematically, you know, dark themed, you know, shots and stuff. It's sunny out. You're like,
dude, I loved when I was in college. You know, I lived in a party house, right? And one of our big things was that we always had is every weekend, like in October especially, we would have 20 people over to our house, not for a party, but to watch a scary movie, right?
Yeah.
I had this old school projector, big screen TV, you know, with a big old back on the side. It was like a 56-inch. It was really good size, but the thing was just massive.
Like one of those giant Toshiba or Mitsubishi units.
Yeah,
the Mitsubishis were always so cheap. You could just get this great big.
It's exactly what it was.
Picture quality.
So we'd have like 20 people sitting in my living room, like, you know, 10 people uncomfortably on our big L-shaped couch, and we had everybody else on the floor in sleeping bags and stuff. And we would all, you know, crack open a couple of drinks and I guess beers.
That's fun.
And then all grab popcorn and candy and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I used to do that with my friends.
So we would do that, and it was the best because everybody was so respectful of that. It was a scary movie,
and it was fun when someone did scream or yell.
It was scary movie night. Nobody's getting up and talking. It was nobody on their phone. It was crazy. It was nice that everybody was all about the movie, and so turn off all the lights in the house, and then of course there's always that person who's like, I have to go to the bathroom, but I don't want to get up. I'm like, you have to go with the lights off. You can't turn them on. You're gonna ruin the whole movie.
Kill the ambiance.
So no, we do that too. We'd get some pizzas and snacks and all that, and then.
But to the point of Black Mirror, that's kind of like a for all seasons kind of show.
Yeah,
because that isn't strictly stuck in any one particular
and it's
setting,
but it's fun to. It makes you think a little bit. It's kind of a mind bender.
Fun.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's some of it's pretty heart wrenching, but it's good. So what have you been doing, Dane?
Man,
Dane,
vice principals.
Can we talk about something right now? I want to talk about this. So Dane,
you got a new phone?
I've had a 5S.
Yeah, you got the new phone today.
iPhone 5S.
It was literally turning on and saying,
I did the
Kill
iOS
me.
update like a week back, maybe 2 weeks back. I'm trying to remember. At any rate, the battery was already getting a little long in the tooth, and that was the only thing that was making me think like, oh no, maybe it's time I have to upgrade or something. Because I don't have to have the latest, flashiest technology. I'm not the kind of guy that feels it necessary. But when I did that iOS update, I don't want to point fingers, but my battery life suddenly went from like, okay, to where did it go? It would go from like 90% charge down to 1% charge after like one text message, but it would be random. Like it wasn't predictable as to what caused it, but like if the screen was a little brighter than it should have been, it hated that.
Yeah. No, I remember I had that same issue.
Yeah, it freaked out. So basically it got to be unusable, and I know we're going to SEMA soon. I got to have a working phone when we go there. So I bit the bullet. I got an 8+.
Nice.
This thing is
So
it's pretty
what do we
sweet.
have? What do we have
Yeah.
here? iPhone 6.
That's a 6S actually.
6S.
S.
We have
yeah.
a 7+ here
And
and
now
an
an
8+.
8+.
So big ballers here.
Well, no,
Well,
Apple did
honestly,
not
now
pay
we got to
for
get
this.
you into a
Well,
plus.
I just don't know what I don't know if I want to go 8+.
He's thinking about that X.
I'm thinking-
but
I'm thinking about an X
I'm
too,
thinking
but I'm
of the
gonna
X,
wait
but
until
Yeah.
they've gotten the bugs worked out a little bit.
That's kind of where I'm at. I'm like the 8+ is not that much different than the 7+. So
Right.
I know
It's-
that I know
it's a
that
very
this,
familiar
that this is a smooth running
platform.
machine, right? Whereas
so
the
nice.
X, like I'm very leery about the facial recognition because I'm one of those guys to where I'll be in my bed and I'll reach over, grab my phone, unlock it, and be over like this. I'm not going to sit there and point it at my face. Like that's not how I always.
Well, what you do is
work.
you'll be in your bed and you'll take it and you'll lift it up.
I was just saying, drop it on your
You'll
face.
drop it on your face.
We've all dropped them on our face at one time or another.
So I'm not really all about that
This
facial
makes it a
recognition.
lot less fun to drop it on your face.
Oh yeah, no, they
I'm
they
sure
hurt
you've-
now. They're not
So,
as fun.
I
It's
might-
a freaking brick.
I might just end up going with the 8+. It's
Yeah.
still there. I mean, it's got all the new processor.
Well,
It's got everything that the X has. It's just
I'm a big believer in having those magnetic mounts in the car too. So I
should
over
probably
the
move
weekend
over
I got
one of
myself
those.
one of those little Scosche magnetic mounts that I can just pop it up in the car. And it's
Oh,
cool
very
because it
nice.
goes inside the case, so the magnet just goes
you need
through.
to, now you just need to get one of those because this is what I need. I'm not the type of guy that's going to sit there and charge my phone all the time. I hate plugging this thing
Yeah.
in. I need one of the wireless charging pads.
Yeah,
for
and these
that they
accept
have.
wireless now. What is it? The Key wireless or
Yep.
however
So
you say that.
I mean,
yeah.
that would be totally worth it for me because if I were to nonchalantly set my phone down for it to charge, best thing ever.
Oh, yeah.
I hear with the iPhones though, it's a pretty low wattage.
Yeah, it's not a
one, so
big-
it doesn't charge as fast as like.
But if
some
you're
others,
sitting
like
at
the
work all day
Galaxies
and
or
you have
stuff.
a wireless charger,
Yeah, I mean, if it's passive and you're just kind of like set it over there, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works. But anyway, brought
we
that
got
up because
new
I need to
phones?
have a good functioning phone for that, and that also means I can do more live streaming.
Yep.
When we're down at the show, stuff like that. We're gonna record a lot of stuff, but I feel like we're gonna be doing a lot of live stuff.
we
too.
will. Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, whatever happens to be it. I think we should try some more live YouTube videos too. So for
we
those of
can,
you
yep.
watching, would you like to see that? We'll probably do it anyway. but
Yeah. Just
So would you like to see
yeah.
that? Too bad because we're
Yeah,
doing it
too
anyway.
bad.
We're going to
doing
do
it
a
anyway.
lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
those of you that aren't able to make it, hopefully you'll be able to live vicariously through our channels.
Right.
And hopefully we'll be able to give you a good SEMA experience.
I'm going to take you around for an episode of SEMA Eats, where you follow Anthony to all of the eatery places.
You're going to have some pulled pork
Yes.
barbecue in the
I'll show
Chevy
you
booth.
guys
You're
what's
going
hot,
to...
and I'll give you guys
You're
a
gonna get
review
the
of the
Nathan's hot
food.
dog and a Sbarro pizza in the center while you're staring at Magnus Walker's
Yeah.
Porsche.
Yeah.
What
The
else?
food
You go to
vlog
the
is
food
live
trucks
again.
behind
Yeah.
there's food trucks behind the North Hall, in between the West Gate and the North Hall.
Noted.
So you can go get food trucks
Yeah.
there.
I mean, the joke is, guys, is that I'm always eating around here on the office. So
He literally is.
I mean, it's a joke, but at the same time, it's 100% true.
He's
too.
going down with a suitcase full of snacks.
I am, actually.
So that way, as the snacks deplete and the swag
Yeah.
or the swag
Right.
increases,
it's gonna
snacks
to
will
goodie
disappear.
ratio.
Swag comes back, and Anthony's like, "Look at
I'm
all
sorry,
these
you
catalogs
can't
and
eat
stickers I
The
have."
Rupes
Well,
lanyards.
yeah. Well, that's why the joke is that they're like, how are you going to make it through a day at SEMA, Anthony, without your constant array of snacks? And so I'm like, jokes on you guys. I'm probably going to wear some type of cargo shorts.
I was gonna say,
or
I picture
pants.
bringing like a
and-
fanny pack that's just full of.
I actually will. If I can find a cool fanny pack that's going to match the outfit, I will wear
Those
one.
are two words that should never go together.
And I
cool
will put,
and fanny
I'll
pack.
put
Did you guys get your
protein
pants?
bars.
Oh,
I'll put
man.
We
all
have to get
sorts
our
of
pants
things.
still.
Gotta
Yeah,
get
we
our
do have to get
pants.
pants. Are we going shopping at Target again?
I don't know if we're going to go shopping, but we do
Is
need to
Dane's
get...
dad is Jeff going to take us
man.
shopping like he did at Seattle?
He was so
went
upset when I
short
got
Bought us
those
some
comfy shorts.
They're nice. I still have my shorts.
They're really
so.
comfy shorts, and Anthony's like, "Psst, I'm going cheap
Yeah,
route. I don't know
they
what
bought
you guys
these
are about."
expensive shorts. I bought these.
They weren't
cheaper
that
shorts.
expensive. They were
It was
under,
like-
They were literally like $5
No, they were
more.
$10 more. I remember.
Oh,
And
geez.
so,
Well, to be fair,
Apparently
his,
this really
his
stuck
shorts
with
were
him.
$10. So ours were $20.
they aren't expensive shorts.
I'm sorry, I got a little bit of pudge. They're just
Yeah.
more comfortable. Yeah.
Fit nicer. They breathe a little better.
Yeah.
No, John and I have been talking about getting some sort of performance fabric dress pant, so that we
you guys
can stay
run and
cool.
stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah, run and stretch and pull those captain poses.
Yeah.
And
We
that
gotta,
way,
we gotta look like cohesive out.
yeah,
can't
we
get
are going to
much
match.
out.
We've got
Doofuses,
matching shirts and shoes.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Got the baller shoes.
I'm excited. I just want to be.
Oh, and that's the other thing. We got to
That's
start
what I
breaking in our shoes.
Oh, yeah.
We've got to start
We
wearing
do.
them these next 2 weeks
Yep.
here in the office. To
put some miles in.
Speaking of shoes, we need to make a video out of you cleaning shoes with your little method,
Oh,
your little
yeah.
life hack method you did
Super,
the
yeah.
other day.
I
I've
bought-
got some dirty shoes that I can bring
I'm
in
not
that are
touching
white
your
and
shoes,
blue.
Dane.
Dude, these are like purely driving
can
shoes.
clean your own
They're
shoes.
not,
He's got
they're
a
not
clothespin
nasty,
and
but we're
some
gonna
rubber
shoot a
gloves
video
on.
with
He's
it
cleaning Dane's
because
shoes.
I was so impressed with how well these cleaned up.
We were
they got
sitting,
white soles.
We were
so.
sitting in my we're sitting in our office, and end of the day, we're not doing anything. But I mean, well, we are doing things, but I mean, we're sitting there end of the day.
Yeah,
and,
we do nothing all day.
And I had my shoes are really dirty. I have a pair of these Nike Frees that I have, and the white was really dirty. Like the fabric was kind of dirty looking. I took them out and like on a hike or something. So
Yeah.
I was sitting there. I'm like, oh, I want to clean these up. So I grabbed a towel because we have plenty of those around here.
Oh, really?
And I grabbed a waffle weave, and I grabbed we had a little bottle of the fabric.
And it was like a
Clean and
really
Protect.
basic waffle. It
And,
wasn't
yeah,
any of
just-
our like fancy
yeah,
Korean
Chinese
ones. It was
waffle
like a
is what it
basic
was.
Chinese standard waffle.
And I sprayed my shoes down, and I started rubbing it. And Dane looks over and he's like, "No way!" And I'm like, I'm sitting there like, I'm impressed with my shoes are looking brand new.
Wait, I don't think you said what you were
And-
spraying them with. What were you spraying them with?
Optimum carpet fabric, clean and
carpet
protect.
fabric,
Okay.
clean and protect. And so
Because I was freaking
I was-
amazed from that little, and it had the cool little sprayer. I like those little bottles. that
yeah,
they
I
come in,
just
like an
sprayed the
8-ounce.
shoes down, wiped them down, and these things looked brand new. And Dane was like, "We have to do something with this. You have to clean my shoes." I'm like, "I'm not gonna clean your shoes, but I'll make like a fun video or something."
Anthony, detail my shoes.
We'll set the camera up. Maybe we'll do it on one of the rolling carts. And,
Yeah.
And Dane
Yep.
can go, "I brought my shoes in here today." And Dane can go, and Anthony-
wearing them. He just
yeah,
puts his
and-
foot up on my lap. You know?
They're cool shoes. They're Adidas that were like branded by Goodyear. So they're those blue suede
Yep, seen
shoes
those.
with
They're nice.
the white bottoms, but they just have like black marks on them, gray marks on them. Those will clean up nice. They'll look really cool.
Yeah. And then we
once
can take
clean 'em
that,
up.
show those shoe cleaning guys at the mall.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna put
Ruin
you guys.
their day.
I'll set up right next to him. What I'll do is we'll make a video of me setting up next to him.
Oh, no.
Being like, "You guys
With
ready
better
for some
towels.
competition?"
You're just like a little
Better
like pop up
products.
shop, and
Because I saw their towels. They went
going
to
on?
they got like some purple, some gray, and one other towel that they had of microfiber towels that they got. That you could tell they got at like Walmart.
Yeah.
But they're pretty proud of them because of the color scheme that they had come up with.
Yeah.
And I was like, I should go over and say something.
Dude,
Go
we
over.
can
Get
help
you
better
guys. Put you out of
Just
business
saying.
over here with all day shoe cleaning.
So
So.
hooking it up. Yeah, excuse me, sir. You don't have a permit to be here.
All right, guys. So,
Yeah.
well, I think
I think we pretty
I
much
think we've
that's
covered
it.
everything.
We have good variety. I feel like this was a fun,
Hope you
higher
enjoyed
energy
it.
show. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we went some places. We dug some holes
Yep,
and climbed back out of them. Sorry,
Yeah.
Anthony, if that made you
So be
uncomfortable.
ready for next week when we're going to be on our crunch to SEMA.
Yes.
Yep, last week will be.
Yeah.
Next week will be our final podcast. I
time,
think before SEMA,
yeah.
or we might fit in another one depending on.
Yeah.
what
We'll
happens.
see. We're going to try and
We'll see,
podcast at
how that
SEMA.
goes.
Yeah.
Very funny, Dane. Wow, so good.
Count on it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're on YouTube, thank you so much for listening. If you're on iTunes or shoutengine.com. And as always, if you got a chance, leave us a review. We always appreciate that. So till next time, see ya.
See you guys.
See ya.